I'm Chase Gore.
I'm Chris Gore.
And this is the Andrews Mustangs Slot Team Mafia Show, episode 10. We're here in studio, brought to you by Daniel Montoya with Monument Realty. Our backdrop here is by Nix and Nax. Co-host Chris Gore. How you feeling this evening?
Good. Ready for Friday.
We wanted to go ahead and let you guys know we're not affiliated with Andrews High School or Andrews Independent School District. We're going to go ahead and recap the Canyon game. We're going to preview the start of district with the Lakeview Chiefs game, and we also have some special interviews that we'll get to here live in the studio. We're going to go into the Canyon High School recap this last Friday night. Chris, give me your thoughts on the game.
Yeah, it was certainly a disappointing outcome. We really felt like it was a good matchup for the Mustangs coming in. The Mustangs got off to a really nice start. I think we were talking during the game and after. There were kind of two momentum areas that kind of defined the game, apart from our penalties and turnovers, which kind of reared their heads again. But, we were up 14-7, middle of the second quarter, moving the ball at will. The defense came out, got a stop. We get the ball back, run the ball. We get up into their territory on about 30, 35-yard line on a nice DeBose run. And then the holding penalty set us back about 20 yards. And then I think we had another penalty, had 2 or 3 in a row that put us at about second and 25. In any offense, that's a small conversion rate, but in a run-based offense, it's not very high. And then we ended up giving the ball back to them. They went down and scored to tie it at halftime and take the momentum. They came out second half, drove long drive, went down and scored, went up by 7. But middle of the third quarter, the defense got a stop on Canyon's end of the field, and we held them on a fake punt. Defense played fantastic and gave us another chance. Very next play, we fumble, they scoop and score, went up 28-14. That pretty much, for all intents and purposes, ended the game. Kids had great effort, fought to the end. It's just certainly a disappointing outcome, especially with the penalties and turnovers.
Yeah, one thing I've noticed in our 3 wins, we've been on top of the turnover battle.
Usually the way it goes.
On the 3 losses, not only the turnover battle, but the penalty battle. I think we had 7 penalties this game compared to Canyon. Only had 1. We had the 3 turnovers, 2 fumbles, and interception. Canyon had no turnovers.
Yeah, we knew coming in Canyon, they're always a hard-nosed, well-coached ball club. They don't, over the years we've played them, they don't tend to make a lot of mistakes, and that held true. I think, football's funny. There's always 1, 2, 3. There's always a few points in a game where you can seize momentum and maybe swing it the other way. And we just weren't able to do it when we had the opportunity. But I know Coach Harvey and the staff are back on we're back to the drawing board on Monday, getting these guys ready for district because we're 3-3. We're one loss, haven't been able to string anything together. But that being said, the real season starts now in San Angelo on Friday night.
Well, we're going to go ahead and give the quick stats of the Canyon game so we can go ahead and move forward. Total yards, Andrews had 248. Canyon had 343. First downs, Andrews had 16 first downs compared to Canyon's 17. Andrews, 3 turnovers, Canyon 0. Penalties, we were 7 for 40 yards. They were 1 for 5. And that's all. That's pretty much it. We're going to go to the shout-out section. Offensively, on the offensive side of the ball, Merck Size, 11 carries for 102 yards and a touchdown. And on the defensive side of the ball, we got some shout-outs. First one is Jet Fisher. Had 14 tackles, and give him a big shout-out and 2 good returns.
Good game, yeah. 2
good kickoff returns that get us out to midfield. Hopefully that's a preview of more to come.
Yeah.
And try to, if our offense is struggling, maybe the special teams can kind of
give them a jump.
Yeah, give them a little extra. Dalen Jeffcoats, 9 tackles on the game. Colton Stewart, 7 tackles. And Damian Ordonez with 7 tackles. There was many after that, 6 and 5, but those 4 watching the game really stood out. And our offensive player of the game for that game was Merck Size on offense, Jet Fisher on defense.
Yeah.
And I've seen Jet play a mini football game, and the other night Jet was laying the wood.
Played a good game. Jet came to play.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and we're getting rid of that game. And we're going to move on up to the Lakeview Chiefs. It's the beginning of district. This Friday night, Andrews will be traveling down to Lakeview, take on the Chiefs. Chiefs come in at 1-5 record. They won their first game of the year against La Mesa. After that,
Been blown out ever since.
I think the only other close game they played Lubbock High. Might have been 43-42, somewhere along those lines. So, and I'm not even going to go into. I'm basically the notes that I have is this. This is a need win, and a need to win big.
Yeah, it's a get-right game, kind of like Lubbock High. Yeah, for sure.
Well, this is also the loser of this game takes a back seat in the playoff picture.
Yeah.
And not only that, but due to down the road, in case of any, you never know when it comes to district, weird things happen. When you beat a team, you need to, especially like this, you need to try to beat them big because it could come down to points on a three-way tie, things of that nature. All-time record, Andrews and Lakeview. Andrews, 38 wins. Lakeview, 7 wins.
We played them a long time. They hadn't beaten us very often over the years, that's for sure.
The last win that Lakeview had over Andrews was in 2002.
Wow, it was 21 years ago.
And the first meeting between Andrews and Lakeview came in 1954.
Oh, wow.
With Andrews winning that game 20-13. So it's only notes that I have is this is a get-right game. We need to win. We need to win big.
Yeah.
And let's get some confidence. It's a confidence builder
For sure.
And then the week after that we have Estacada coming to our house. So
yeah, no, that's Chase. You hit it on the head. You know, this is a game the Mustangs are going to be favored big to win. It's a game that we should win. I know Coach Harvey will have the kids ready. They'll have a good game plan. Get right game points come into play. You know, when you're talking about ties at the end of the year. Really important to kick off district with this win against Lakeview because next Friday you've got Lubbock Estacada coming to town, which could end up being a very big game if we take care of business Friday in regards to seeding in district.
So before we go into our game prediction, score predictions on this game, if I remember right, back in 1992, y'all made the playoffs, and it was the first time Andrews had made the playoffs in, 10 years?
Something like that, yeah.
And y'all's came down to a point still, and it come down to the very last game of the year.
Yeah, it did. We had beaten Sweetwater that year, who was a state semifinalist, and we lost to Big Spring and beat Monahans. Monahans lost to Sweetwater and beat Big Spring by a point, which, of course, back then only 2 teams went to the playoffs. But it was a little bit different back then. But, yeah, it does. So the point deal can come into play. So if you got to run it up, you got to run it up.
All right, Chris, score prediction. Lakeview, Andrews at Lakeview.
I'm gonna say Andrews 63, Lakeview 20.
All right, I got 63-14 is the score that I got, and I'm gonna go ahead and go out on a limb, and I'm gonna save in between 500 and 600 yards rushing.
I'm with you.
All right, so now we're gonna go into the next section, which is our 4A Division I Region I Gore Poll. There's 20 teams in Region 1. We have our top 10, and every week it goes up and down depending on how the teams do. Coming in at number 1 is going to be Brownwood Lions. Number 2 spot's going to be Decatur. At the 3 spot's going to be Lubbock Estacado. Number 4 spot's going to be the Springtown Porcupines. At the number 5 spot, we got Hereford. At number 6 spot, we have Canyon. The number 7 spot, we have our Andrews Mustangs. Number 8, we have Canyon Randall. Number 9, we have Dumas Demons. And at number 10 spot, we got Mineral Wells.
Oh, but Mineral Wells, what are they, 4-2?
3-2.
3-2. Oh, 3-2.
Or excuse me, 4-2.
4-2. That's a good year by their standards. Yeah.
Well, there's when you're looking at a lot of these, you're looking at a lot of 3-3s.
Yeah.
It's hard for me doing a list to put Randall up over us. We beat them. We beat them head to head. So,
I think for sure Brownwood's probably the team to beat in the region right now.
Brownwood and Decatur. Those two are the top teams. Springtown this weekend beat a good Waco Connolly team, 22-21. Springtown is the real deal.
Yeah, and in second round of the playoffs, potentially we could be looking at a Decatur or Springtown. So, yep.
Absolutely. All right, so now in our next section, we're going to go into our Pick'ems section. We're on the season. Yours truly is 24 wins, 7 losses. And Chris is 23 wins and 8 losses. He's one behind. So this week's games, Chris, we got Brownwood at Big Spring.
Oh gosh, that's going to be brutal. I'm going to say Brownwood 56, Big Spring 6.
All right, I got Brownwood by 40. All right, I got West Plains at Seminole.
That would be a good game. That would be a good game to go watch. Seminole 6-0, West Plains 5-1, only lost to a really good Bushland team. We've seen both of those teams. I think West Plains has too much offensive firepower. I'm going to say West Plains 35, Seminole 13.
I got West Plains by 28. All right, now we're going to go Canyon Randall at Dumas.
That's an interesting matchup. Dumas struggled on offense. Randall, we watched them play Canadian last Thursday. Man, Canadian's good. But Randall's 3-3. They have shown
I think
flashes.
Dumas is 2-4.
Yeah, I'm going to say Randall by 7.
It's at Dumas. I have Dumas by 3. All right, so we got Friendship at Midland Legacy.
Yeah, I think Friendship 6-0, Midland Lee's 5-1, but I think the only team they lost to was Cibolo Steel, who's like in the 6A top 10, like 20 Division I recruits on their team. It's in Midland. Friendship, I'm not sold on them. They haven't really played anyone outside of West Texas other than that Albuquerque team they beat. I'm going to say Midland Lee by 21.
Well, I will say I got to watch the Legacy and Cibolo game on YouTube, and the Midland Legacy quarterback, he is huge. He was the biggest man on the field, and I've got Legacy by 14. Permian at OHS.
Oh, gosh. Permian by 28.
You got Permian by 28. I'm going OHS.
I hope so.
1.
I'd like to see that, but I just don't think
it hadn't been done. I'm feeling.
I don't think Odessa High's got the men up front to beat them, but we'll see.
We'll see. All right, now we're going to move into bonus game. I got Oklahoma Sooners in Texas Longhorns.
Oklahoma's in trouble. Texas defensive line is something. I think Oklahoma's going to have a hard time scoring points. I'm going to say Texas by 17.
All right, I got Texas by 10. And then the NFL bonus game of the weekend, Dallas Cowboys at San Francisco 49.
Cowboys got back on track last week against the Patriots, which is encouraging. San Francisco's playing really well right now. Just the history of the Cowboys in big games, regular season or playoffs, hasn't been too good in the last 30 years. I'm going to say San Francisco by 10.
I've got San Francisco by 3. So that's going to conclude the Pick'em section. Here in just a minute, we got live interviews. We have Andrews Mustangs live in studio, and we'll be right back. All right, we're back here live in studio. We have some Andrews Mustangs here in studio, and I'm going to go ahead and let him introduce himself and his number and what position he plays.
My name is Cole Iverson. I play swingman for the Andrews Mustangs. I'm number 27.
Nice to have you on. Appreciate you coming.
Yes,
and for y'all, most of y'all know, some of you don't, his brother Cooper plays outside linebacker for the Andrews Mustangs, and we had him on a couple of episodes back. So, Cole, we're going to go ahead and jump right into tell me who your favorite football player of all time is and tell me why.
All right, I got to give it to Micah Parsons. He's just a really good defensive player, and if I was to play defense, I'd look up to him.
What makes him so good?
Just how vicious he is on the field. I think it's
He's just a beast.
really good.
It's unblockable.
Yes, sir.
I see a lot of holding calls that don't get called too. But I guess if I was going up against him, that's the only way I could stop him. I want to go ahead and go into, so for you, going into the Mustang questions, the last couple of seasons, you've actually kind of made a transition. You were playing center and line, correct?
Yes, sir.
And now, for y'all that don't know swingman, it's tight end. It's like a tight end receiver hybrid. So you got your strong tight end. That's more your blocker, your big, stronger guy. And then your swingman is more of a tight end who can block, but also is a little athletic, can go out for passes, do things of that nature. So how has that transition been for you this year?
I've liked it a lot more. I've always kind of wanted to make that transition, but I didn't know how. So I think switching into the new offense, it kind of helped me make that transition because I talked to Harvey and then just thought it'd be good.
Well, for y'all out there that know, in last summer and the summer before, Cole did some workouts with us out there, and I was like, golly, I was like, this kid's really athletic and can move. And I go, they got him playing center, but he had grown and he had stretched out, and so a lot of these kids, each summer, each year to year, they stretch out. A lot of them thin up. And Cole, very athletic, plays baseball as well, correct? And so I want you to you give me someone on the team that either you think might like that's kind of behind the scenes that might not get a lot of credit. That's someone that you think like that makes a huge difference to not only you but to the team.
Yeah, I gotta go with Dalen Jeffcoats on that. He's a really good linebacker, has good vision. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Dalen's a good kid, and he's still growing.
Yes, he is. He's
and when you see him out there on the field, it's you just don't realize how tall he is.
Yeah,
he's a big kid, good kid. So I want you to tell me what is your we're 6 games in, we got 4 left. Probably at least we're close to midway point. I want you to tell me what is your personal goal for district and for the end, and also what goals that you have for the team.
I'd probably have to say just like being the best that I can, knowing that I have some pretty big blocks on a few plays, just making sure I get to those and just helping out the team in any way possible.
Okay. And then team goal?
Team goal, obviously, to play in December, but just build that bond because, as they said, we're a young team, but I think we could prove them wrong and just show them.
Awesome. We appreciate you having on. You're having a great season.
Sir, thank
Continue to have a good one. Keep everybody together. We want to go down Friday night, and we want to handle the Chiefs.
Yes, sir, definitely.
All right. Thank you, sir. All right, we're back here live in studio. Interview number 2. Andrew's Mustang in studio, and I'm going to let him introduce himself, his position, his number, and what classification.
I'm Cade Adams. Play swingman, number 14, and I'm a junior.
We appreciate you having on the show. It's all right. We're having fun here. It's good stuff. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to get into first is who's your favorite football player of all time, and tell me why.
I got to say Jalen Hurts because he went to adversity at Alabama, switched over to Oklahoma, and then made a Super Bowl appearance.
I always pull for Jalen Hurts. Followed him like his whole journey through college and the ordeal, getting pulled out of the game and then having to transfer and never gave up. And what I liked about him is when the NFL players last year, when they wore their high school jerseys, he showed up at camp with a Permian jersey on. That's much respect to him. I want to go ahead and I want to ask you, getting into the Mustang questions. So in years past, you played some receiver, you played some quarterback, and now this year you're transitioning to swingman in Andrews. Kind of walk me through or just kind of give me an idea of how that transition's been for you.
It's definitely been a journey. It's been fun, switching from quarterback and now swingman. I think it's made me smarter. Like I just see the field better now.
Kind of learn, yeah. When you play other, and I sometimes relate stuff to baseball. It's kind of like if you've always played first base, but you learn how to play outfield and you learn different positions, you get a different perspective, and you just see the game differently. So I want you to give me someone on the team that maybe it's made an impact on you, or maybe you've noticed made an impact on a team. Someone that's kind of behind the scenes, or maybe someone that doesn't get a lot of recognition, but you think this guy should get some.
I think Jet Fisher, just because he wasn't really like a stud, and now he's just coming in. He puts hits on guys and he just flies around the field and makes big plays for us.
Jet's, I can't tell you how many times Jet's a great kid and awesome player. Got the privilege of coaching him and young, and this year playing safety, moving. I mean, he played safety last year, but getting to play full time. One part of his game that we've noticed is Jet has been laying the wood, and there was a couple of times the other night I was like, whoa, he was laying the wood, and then he's had I think 3 good returns on special teams too.
Yeah.
So Jet's a great kid. I want you to. We're halfway point through the season, around the halfway-ish. I want you to tell me what is your personal goal for here on out for the end of the season, and what is your team goal for the team?
My personal goal is just to get the key blocks and help my team as I can, and then team goal will just have to be take it day by day and have a good season, the rest of the season.
One day at a time. One day at a time. Well, Cade, we appreciate you coming on. You've had a good season, and we're halfway-ish. Season's not done yet. We still got a long way to go, and the story is not completely written yet. So keep working hard. Have everybody ready and playing, okay? And let's go up Friday night, and I say let's put a whooping on some Chiefs. So, all right. Appreciate you. All right, we're back here live in studio with interview number 3, and I'm going to go ahead and let the gentleman introduce himself.
My name is Julian Valenzuela. I'm number 51, and I play middle linebacker.
And senior, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, Mr. Julian. For some of y'all that do know and don't, Julian was one of the ones, he come and worked out with us all summer, put a ton of work in. Good kid, worked his tail off all summer. We appreciate having you on the show. I want to go ahead and jump into it. Can you tell me who your favorite football player of all time is, and tell me why?
My favorite football player would have to be Nick Bosa. Just really explosive and just really good.
Beast, big and strong,
Sir.
hard to block, and he has one of those motors.
Sir.
He just doesn't quit. And I think the Dallas Cowboys this weekend, aren't they going to have their hands full with him? Yeah? Yeah, one's going like this, and the other one. All right, so we're going to go and get into the Mustang questions. I want you to give me someone on the team that might be behind the scenes that you think makes a big difference, maybe not only to you, but maybe to others.
I'm going to have to say Sammy Saldivar. He always putting in the work and just always going hard.
Sammy Saldivar, a good kid.
Sir.
Good kid, and he's got a bright future ahead of him too. And a good kid, works hard, good family. That's really good. Let's go ahead and go into playing middle linebacker, I say middle linebacker, playing inside linebacker this year. Has there been any difference in this year's system at all compared to years past, or is it pretty much kind of the same thing that y'all been doing?
Well, most of it is just pretty the same, just the basics.
It makes it easier. You can play faster because you kind of know. That's good. One thing that we've noticed with the linebackers this year is they are very fast and quick and can move. It's one thing that we have noticed, and you guys are doing a good job. Keep it up. I want you to. We're halfway mark to the season. I want you to give me your personal goal and for the rest of this season. What is your team goal?
My personal goal is just to get better than the next day, better than I was the next day. And my team goal would be make it past the second round and just go all the way.
I got you. Well, Julian, you're having a great season. Got to keep working hard, have those boys up, ready to play. District starting this Friday. We need to go down and we need to handle the Chiefs and take the Stampede down there and do what we got to do. Get the boys ready to play. Appreciate having you.
Thank you.
All right, this is going to wrap up episode 10 of the Andrews Mustang Slot Team Mafia show. I want to thank my host, Chris Gore.
That's right.
Appreciate it. And none of this would be possible without Daniel Montoya, with
Monument
Realty, the studio, the whole setup. We appreciate you very much, Daniel. Backdrop here is by Nix and Nax. Also want to say special thanks to the kids who will take time out of their evening. We know that they work hard at school. They go to school all day. A lot of times they're going in early. Yeah, they're practicing. So for them to do that, we appreciate it very much. Wanted to go ahead and reiterate, we are not affiliated with Andrews High School or Andrews Independent School District. Now, this Friday night, we will not be live streaming the game because Concho Sports Network
On YouTube.
in their top-notch quality.
High quality production.
High quality. They're going to be live streaming the game. So I'm going to be posting out that link on our Facebook just to let everybody know. So if anybody can't make the game, they can watch it. Or if they can't watch it Friday night for whatever reason, Saturday afternoon, they want to cook out, watch the game, they can always do that. So this Friday, we're going down to Lakeview starting district and clean slate. Big game, district game starts, and we hope everybody can get there. And always remember, folks, it's a great day to be a Mustang.